Okay, hands come back down to the ground. We just relax here. See if you can let your forearms sink down, so no weight in the arms at all. And then see what it's like to press one arm straight and come into a little bit of a side stretch. The other arm straight. Just play a little bit while we're down here. Maybe you want to come into a handstand. So to come into a handstand, you press the knees up towards the sky and balance. Your hands have to be right underneath your shoulders to do that. But it's like coming into handstand from a lotus position. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and we're just experimenting and making it up, so if there's anything you'd like to try, feel free to take a couple minutes to just play in the space. I love using the round mats because they give me that sense of spherical movement, circular movement, which is completely different than the linear movements. And then when we're ready, we're going to press our hands into the ground again. So we walk our fingertips towards the front of the mat so we can twist and look up towards the sky. We're going to grab the swing with one hand. So we're going to have to turn the shoulder over. So we lift and pull and then get this swing in front of us. It's a little bit of an umph. Yeah. Make sure the shoulders are happy. So grab with both hands and then bend the elbows a lot and sink down. So we first opening up through the tricep. It's a big stretch for the shoulders, and then we're going to inhale and press forward, lift the chest at the same time. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, press. Nice. Use your arms to lift you and notice how you start to build strength in the underbelly of the body. Inhale, press. Then when you press, balance, so come to sitting again on your heels, get the swing behind you, make sure that you have it under your arms before you lean back and let it catch you. Please, please, s'il vous plaît. Okay, and then go ahead and slide into the knees and relax and chillaxing. You cannot? Say it one more time. I heard everything except you can or cannot massage the psoas. Say the last part again. Mm-hmm. 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 Together. Yeah. 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 Got it. Yep, that's what I was saying. So in the video, I'll repeat what you said just so we have it on the video. So when the leg loops are in this position, they're going to be really tight up against the inner groin. So when we come forward, we're actually able to massage out through the psoas. So instead of the leg loops being wider, which would push the knees open, the knees are going to collapse a little bit, but we get a little bit more of a massaging for along the hip. The hip crease is where the psoas muscle from the attachment to the inner trochanter up through the sides of the obliques, the inner obliques there, is where the psoas will go, and this massages it nicely. That's what Barbara was saying on the video, which you can't see. I'm talking to myself here the whole time. But she didn't want to be on video, so here we are. Me looking like I talk to myself. It's okay. So yeah, that's a really good point, and that's the difference. So we have to press the knees open strongly to get the same stretch in the flying butterfly and Supta Baddha. But the benefit is that with the leg loops tighter, you were getting deeper into the groin, therefore opening up the psoas and the hip flexors. Okay, so let's go ahead and try a little experiment. Again, we haven't done this before, so it's just playtime. If I pull the leg loops apart, right, I can kind of put them behind me. So I'm going to get the leg loops behind me and squeeze myself forward. Yeah, that just happened. Okay, so I'm wanting to play with Dancing Shiva a little bit. So the leg loops are going to slide up, right? It's okay. But let's just see from this like very complicated parachuting position if we can just get side to side a little bit. And it's okay that the leg loops are sliding up, right? So we just let them slide up a little bit. And then go ahead and let them slide up all the way. And then come into our skydiver. So we can actually get the leg loops behind us there, which is fun. And then we're going to go ahead and lean forward so it's a big shoulder stretch. Okay? But then we're going to go ahead and come down to the ground and let the leg loops be on the inner groin. So we're just going to focus on opening up those hip flexors today. So now the leg loops are internally rotating the legs for us. It's helping us get that tractioning. We're going to float at first, and we're going to come down and notice how much spin we have. Right? We have so much play from side to side, which is really fun. We're going to keep the legs heavy. So we're floating, but the legs are just about a foot off the ground. The feet are going to stay no higher than the hips for the sequence. And then when we come to center, you notice that we can straighten the arms and come into a version of upside down dog. So in upside down dog, you can keep the legs out wide, or you can bend the feet, knees wide, and bring the feet together. Just notice what happens. It's a totally different stretch on the hip if we bend the feet, bend the knees, and bring the feet together and press back. It's really tractioning the hip flexors from the groin down to the knees and pulling. It feels really good. Okay, so there's a lot of different variations we can do from here we've done before. Let's just come into a wide straddle and press back. And again, it's so challenging to get into all of that thickness and that stickiness around the hips. So when we use the leg loops to massage out those parts of the body, it may feel really intense, but it should also feel really good. You know, even with a really deep massage, even with a Ralphing session, it can be really challenging to get in there. So when we're using our own body weight and gravity and the twists and the pushing and pulling, it allows us to go deeper. So I want you to practice going into some circles. So not loop-de-loops, not figure eights, not yet. Just see if you can do some simple circles. So we're going to go over to the right, press all the way back, and then come over to the left and back around. Okay, hang out in the center. Let's do that one more time. Press over to the right, go all the way back, over to the left, and then back through center. And just hang out here. So once you get the center, drop all of your weight down towards the ground. You're over your toes. Your hips are moving forward over your toes. So you're not directly over your heels. You're actually pouring all of your weight forward. And then go ahead and traction the back of the neck. Get a little bit more space in the cervical spine. I always like to pulse a little from side to side. If the energy feels stuck at all, the pulsing will be really nice. Okay, and then from there, let's do it one more time. Let's do our semicircles going to the left. And notice for me, there's a little bit of a sticky spot here. I can feel like the energy moving down my leg on the outer line. So something's opening up there. And it might be a different spot for you, but it's nice to notice where there are some sticky spots or some intensity, which is good. It's a good thing to get that open. Press all the way back. And then twirl. We're spinning it over to the right and back around through center. Let's do that one more time. So over to the left. Spinning back. Pressing straight back. Notice the big stretch on the sit bones there. That's really quite special. And then come over to the right and back around. How's that feeling, Barbara? What do you notice? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Iliac crest. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Really good. So go ahead and play a little bit now. Now we can do some side to side, some figure eights, some loop-de-loops, whatever feels good. I want you to just take a full 60 seconds to explore in the space. Just kind of feel it out. Notice how different it is to get into the rotations of the body and how the spins and spirals really open up that tightness. And enjoy the exploration. Enjoy just feeling what it's like to be fully suspended and to be invited into some of that free energy, that angular momentum where it's completely effortless for us to move. So 5 more deep breaths wherever you are. Just enjoy it. Try something new. Every day we should try something new that we haven't done before. It's so good for us. It's good for our brains. It's good for our personalities. It's good for our confidence. It's also good for the hips, because the hips are really loving this right now, you know. It's just, oh wow, a whole new sensation and feeling in the body. Very good. Just another deep breath and then come back through center. Why don't we go ahead and try our inversion from here? See if we can have some fun with it. So we would normally do this from a folded leaf position, but go ahead and come onto your forearms and then clasp your hands together and create a tripod. So without falling out, of course, see if you can bend the knees and hook the feet. And practice coming into a headstand, whatever way that feels right for today. So allow there to be pressure on the top of the head. Push the crown of the head down. Activate the pineal gland. And stack the hips over the shoulders if you can. Knees are going to stay bent. My feet are hooked. And just see if you can hang out here for a few breaths and end with a supported headstand. So the legs do not extend up towards the sky in this version. We're just going to keep the knees bent and the feet hooked for balance. If you want to get a little crazy, you can try balancing with the legs out wide and then pretend like you're going to bring them up towards the sky. Just see if you can play a little bit in the space or play it safe and keep the knees low and bent and together. Start to straighten the arms. Come on out of it when you're ready. Moving slowly, if you can, back through wide straddle. Lots of benefit from doing the headstands, so make sure you move nice and slow. Give your body anything else that it needs before coming up. So whenever we've been inverted, even if it's just from the hips down for a long time, we have to come up nice and slow because you're going to get a little bit of a head rush. So we're going to press back, press our hips back into the leg loops to lift up. Now we've created quite a tangled web. So let's see if we can come back into